The cameras flashed, the crowd froze, and just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession.
I mean, when a headline drops like that, the entire pop culture machine just stops and stares.
It really does. And the headline we are looking at today is a big one. Sam Asghari admits he still worries about Britney Spears.
It's such a raw, vulnerable thing to say, especially given everything that's happened between them.
It truly is. So, welcome to Starscope Report, where we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And, today's deep dive is it's fascinating. We are unpacking how Sam Asghari is navigating his post-divorce reality, managing these competing public narratives, and attempting a really specific Hollywood rebrand.
Yeah, because stepping out of the shadow of a globally recognized marriage is, well, it's incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
Imagine standing next to a supernova, right? For years, the light is so blinding, the gravity is just so intense that people only see your silhouette.
They never actually see you.
Exactly. They don't see you. But eventually the orbit breaks, and when you step out of a shadow cast by someone as massive as Britney Spears, the entire world is waiting to see what shape you take.
And let's be honest, often they are waiting for you to fail. The pressure in that vacuum is immense. You aren't just moving on from a relationship, you are actively trying to convince the public that you have an independent identity.
Right. And this headline, this admission that he still worries about her, it really sets the tone for everything we're seeing from him from 2024 all the way to mid-2026.
It does. But to really grasp the mechanics of what he's doing right now in 2026, we kind of have to establish the baseline of the relationship itself.
Yeah, we have to look at the timeline.
Because the narrative whiplash in the press has been intense. Like, the timeline is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
They met in 2016 on the set of her Slumber Party music video.
Great video, by the way.
Oh, iconic. They married in June 2022, and then Asghari filed for divorce in August 2023, and things were finalized in May 2024.
Right, but how that timeline is remembered publicly, that depends entirely on what month you check the news.
Totally.
Like, the contrast is unbelievable. Take late 2023. Britney releases her massively anticipated memoir, The Woman in Me.
Which broke the internet.
Broke the internet.
Right.
And the text of that book was finalized before the divorce filing. In it, she refers to Asghari as a gift from God.
Wow.
Yeah. It paints this picture of him as a grounding, stabilizing force in her really chaotic life. And, Sam handled that with incredible grace. He publicly stated it made him smile, and he was freaking proud of her.
But then the pendulum swings violently in the other direction.
So violently.
By August 2025, Britney posts on Instagram completely recontextualizing the marriage.
Yeah.
She called those years the hardest years of my life. She described the relationship almost as a fake distraction.
A fake distraction. I mean,
Yeah.
we have to pause here because her perspective is rooted in a very specific, deeply human pain.
Yeah, we can't ignore the context.
Exactly. She explained that she was using the marriage to cope with being estranged from her two teenage sons, Sean Preston and Jaden James.
Right, who she shares with Kevin Federline.
Yeah. She wrote that her absolute secret to survival during those 3 years of losing contact with her boys was, and this is a direct quote, denial and a lot of tears.
That is just heartbreaking.
It is. She felt totally cut off from the most important people in her world.
And when a global pop icon puts that kind of raw emotion out there and essentially frames her ex-husband as a coping mechanism, the media ecosystem just goes on high alert.
Oh, the tabloid machine immediately pivots to the ex. They are hungry for the clapback.
Always. The standard Hollywood playbook practically demands retaliation.
Right, like your publicist leaks a fiery statement, you defend your ego, and the tabloids just feast on the conflict for another 3 weeks.
Generating millions of clicks and ad revenue in the process.
Exactly. But Sam's PR strategy here it's essentially emotional judo.
That's a great way to put it.
Instead of meeting Britney's force with his own force, which just creates a media explosion, he absorbed the momentum. He gently redirected the energy.
He completely starved the tabloid machine.
He did.
Through his rep, speaking to People magazine, he simply stated that the marriage was very real to him.
Which validates his experience without invalidating hers?
Exactly. He pointed out they were together for 7 years, that he was in love with her and wishes her the best.
And that leads right back to our main headline, right? When he admits he still worries about her, it's consistent, he cares, but he's not fighting.
He left the tabloids with absolutely nothing to hit.
Nothing.
And when E! News caught up with him around that same time, they tried to bait him into commenting on Britney potentially reuniting with her sons.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, he just bypassed the drama entirely. He called it a good thing, said reconnecting with family is what you want, and tossed in a compliment about her amazing voice.
Think about the level of discipline that requires. We all experience situations where two people remember a shared history differently, you know, based on their own trauma.
Absolutely.
Britney's memory reflects the deep, agonizing pain of missing her children. Sam's memory reflects a 7-year partnership that started when they were just co-workers. By refusing to fight her reality in the press, he actively de-escalates a situation that could easily ruin his burgeoning career.
And he took that a step further in a June 2025 interview with Page Six.
Oh, this was fascinating.
Right. Instead of downplaying the obvious, he candidly admitted that he couldn't sit there and lie about the benefits of the marriage. He openly acknowledged that being with Britney gave him a massive, undeniable platform.
Which is just a masterclass in modern public relations.
It really is. Audiences in the 2020s are highly media literate. They can spot PR spin from a mile away.
Yeah, if you try to claim you pulled yourself up entirely by your own bootstraps when everyone saw the elevator you took, the public will turn on you.
Exactly. So by leaning into the obvious truth, saying, yes, this relationship gave me a platform, he instantly disarms his critics. It establishes a baseline of trust with the audience.
And later in the episode, we'll talk about the shocking twist in his career that literally nobody saw coming. But first, let's talk about how he actually handles this day to day.
Yeah, because his strategy of de-escalating the PR crisis actually mirrors his daily routine.
Right, because how do you practically move on when your personal life is constant tabloid fodder?
He realized that to survive, he couldn't just stay quiet. He had to actively blindfold himself to the gossip. In an interview with E! News, he detailed what he calls a laser focus approach.
Laser focus.
Yeah, he made a conscious, deliberate choice to completely disconnect from gossip news.
Which is easier said than done.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But he claims he doesn't pay attention to it at all, channeling that displaced emotional energy into his acting projects and staying informed on world events.
Like the ongoing situations in his home country of Iran.
Right. Exactly. He operates on this mantra he shared, everything that happens to you happens for you.
The philosophy being that if you dwell in negativity, you actively block your own momentum.
Yep, you just get stuck.
I have to push back on this, though.
Okay, let's hear it.
Is it genuinely possible to just turn off the noise when you are at the literal center of a global pop culture storm? Like when your name is trending globally?
It's a fair question.
I mean, is this actual achieved zen? Or is this just a highly disciplined actor playing the part of a zen guy for the cameras to protect his brand?
Your skepticism is entirely fair, and the reality is probably somewhere in the middle. It is functionally impossible to completely insulate yourself from that level of cultural noise.
Right. You're going to see a headline eventually.
But the brilliance of the strategy lies in its utility. Whether it is a genuine spiritual awakening or just a highly effective psychological coping mechanism, publicly declaring that he is ignoring the tabloids creates a boundary.
Ah, yeah. It sets a rule for engagement.
Exactly. It signals to interviewers and the industry that he won't play the game. And that boundary has effectively cleared the deck for him to execute his next move.
And if you're loving these Hollywood twists and psychological deep dives, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead, and you won't want to miss them.
You really won't, because clearing that deck has led to a fascinating career pivot for him.
Oh, it really has. We are watching a highly specific, very intentional action star rebrand unfold in real time.
Yes, he isn't trying to be a moody indie darling or like a prestige drama actor. He is building a highly targeted resume. He understands his physical asset and the current Hollywood market.
Look at the trajectory. He pops up in the Taylor Sheridan series Special Ops, Lioness.
Alongside Nicole Kidman and Morgan Freeman, no less.
Right. And getting into the Taylor Sheridan universe is basically the modern stamp of approval for tough guy credibility.
Oh, absolutely.
Then he lands a role in the August 2024 Amazon Prime movie Jackpot.
Directed by Paul Feig, who is just a master of blending comedy and action.
And the premise of Jackpot is wild. According to Variety, it's a near-future action comedy about a grand lottery, where the catch is that to claim the billions, you have to kill the winner before sundown.
Such a crazy concept.
Awkwafina gets the winning ticket, John Cena is the amateur protection agent trying to keep her alive, and Simu Liu is in the mix as well.
And Sam plays a character named Senior Agent Ash. It's a big, loud, highly physical movie.
Yeah, and by placing himself in an ensemble like that, specifically next to someone like John Asghari, is making a calculated move.
Definitely. Because Cena is the ultimate blueprint for the wrestler-to-actor pipeline, right?
Yeah.
Someone who's successfully transitioned from pure physical muscle to action comedy superstar.
Exactly. Asghari is physically placing himself in the exact career lineage he wants to inherit.
But the project that truly illustrates his endgame is a film releasing in July 2026 called The Gentleman Thief.
This is where the story gets profoundly full circle.
It really does. So The Gentleman Thief is an action thriller directed by Randall Emmett under the pseudonym Ives. It serves as a sequel to Cash Out and High Rollers.
Okay.
And the central star of this franchise is John Travolta. He plays a master thief orchestrating a massive art heist on a $100 million ultra-luxurious yacht down in Miami.
Sounds very cinematic, very glossy.
Very. And Asghari was cast as a member of his loyal crew named Victor.
And for Asghari, this isn't just another gig to pay the bills. This is a massive personal milestone.
Why is that?
Because of how he actually learned to speak English. He moved to America from Iran when he was 12 years old, not speaking a word of the language.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he actually told Travolta on set that he learned English by watching Travolta and Denzel Washington in the 2009 remake of The Taking of Pelham 123.
That is incredible. But, when you think about assimilation, action movies are actually the perfect linguistic tool.
How so?
Well, the storytelling is highly visual, the stakes are obvious, and the dialogue is punchy, memorable, and delivered with intense enunciation. You can follow the plot, even if you don't know all the words yet.
That makes total sense. So you have a kid who learned how to sound American by mimicking an action star through a television screen, and now he's standing on a yacht in Miami trading dialogue with that exact same star.
It's like a movie script in itself.
Right. He mentioned that working with Travolta was an absolute masterclass, not just for the camera work, but learning the mechanics of charisma, how to maintain energy on set, and how to treat the crew when you've been in the industry for 40 years.
But he isn't just trying to be a working actor, though. He has identified a specific archetype he wants to embody.
What's the goal?
In an interview with Film News, he explicitly stated his goal is to revive the ripped 1980s and 90s action hero.
Like the Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger model of leading man.
Exactly. I love his quote on this. He playfully told an interviewer, "No offense to Timothy Chalamet, I already had the muscles anyway."
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
And so brutally practical.
Right. He keeps his diet and training incredibly strict so that when a studio needs that specific silhouette, he's ready to step onto the mark.
But let me play devil's advocate here for a second.
Okay.
Because looking at the cinema landscape in 2026, we are undeniably in the era of the cerebral, moody, emotionally vulnerable leading man.
Yeah, the Timothy Chalamets, the Jeremy Allen Whites.
Exactly. So is there actually a viable market right now for the traditional oil-slicked, muscle-bound action star? Or are we just looking at a nostalgia play that doesn't have real box office legs?
That is the million-dollar question. But if you look at the economics of Hollywood, Asghari is actually reading the market perfectly.
Really?
Yes. Pop culture, and especially box office trends, operate on a pendulum. We have swung so far in the direction of the lean, emotionally complex, highly internalized leading man that a massive gap has opened up in the market for pure, unadulterated physical escapism.
Huh. It's like the difference between the hyper-dehydrated superhero diets of today's Marvel actors and the pure, unapologetic baby oil budgets of the 1980s blockbusters.
Exactly. And studios rely heavily on international box office returns. Physical action translates across language barriers much easier than dialogue-heavy indie dramas.
That makes a lot of sense. A punch to the face is a punch to the face in any language.
Right. There is a baseline global audience for the traditional action hero that never goes away. Asghari is looking at this landscape, identifying the gap, and realizing he doesn't need to fundamentally transform himself to fit an indie mold.
He just needs to position his pre-existing physical brand to fill the action void.
It's brilliant counter-programming to the current dominant Hollywood trend.
I already had the muscles anyway. I love that quote.
It's so good.
But this level of calculated Hollywood ambition introduces a real tension, which brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, is new normal.
Yeah, because there is a massive friction between wanting to be a highly visible global action star and wanting a stable, quiet, personal life.
Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next, because this dilemma is something almost every major star faces.
It really is the defining dilemma for anyone in his position. How do you build a grounded, traditional life in an industry that runs on instability and public exposure?
Right, and Asghari recently articulated this beautifully. He noted that if he is going to create a long-term future in Hollywood, He wants to put himself at risk, not his family and the people next to him.
Which, when you think about his history, that feels like a hard-won lesson.
Oh, absolutely. When you've lived through a marriage where the paparazzi are permanently stationed at the end of your driveway, where your private conversations become global headlines, you learn the actual, tangible cost of fame.
You realize the collateral damage of a public life almost always hits the people closest to you the hardest.
Yeah, and that circles back to why he admits he still worries about Britney. He knows how crushing that spotlight is. He wants the burden of public scrutiny to fall squarely on his own shoulders now.
He's building a firewall between his ambition and his personal peace.
And our sources give us a look at what that personal peace looks like as of July 2026. TMZ reports that Asghari is currently dating a 32-year-old model named Brooke Irvine.
Okay, yeah.
They apparently connected in late 2024, a few months after his divorce was finalized. He's been glowing in recent interviews, calling her amazing and super supportive.
That's really sweet.
He talks about trying to align their hectic schedules just to take normal vacations and enjoy quiet moments together.
And while he maintains this hyper-disciplined focus on his career training constantly, taking these specific ensemble and action roles, he is remarkably transparent about his ultimate end goal.
Which is?
When an interviewer asked him about the future and expanding his family, he simply admitted, everybody wants to have a family.
It's an incredibly humanizing detail that anchors this whole story for me. You have a guy who is actively trying to become a modern-day Terminator on screen, but when the director yells cut, he just wants what the vast majority of people want.
A supportive partner, a quiet home, and eventually a family that feels safe.
It perfectly synthesizes his entire journey over the last 3 years.
It really does. He is constructing this impenetrable protective wall around his personal life, disconnecting from the tabloid noise, shielding his new partner from the glaring spotlight.
While simultaneously throwing himself headfirst into the hypervisible, highly scrutinized world of global action cinema.
Let's pull back and look at the massive landscape we've covered today.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
We started by unpacking the deeply emotional, contradictory public memories of his marriage to Britney Spears, a relationship that undeniably put him on the global map.
But also required a masterclass in emotional judo and PR de-escalation to survive once the divorce went public.
Exactly. From there, we explored the psychological mechanics of his survival, utilizing a ruthless blockout of gossip and actively choosing a philosophy of everything happens for you to keep his momentum moving forward.
And finally, we tracked the incredibly calculated economics of his Hollywood rise. Moving from fitness influencer to acting on massive yachts, alongside the very childhood heroes who unknowingly taught him how to speak English through a television screen.
And you know, that specific detail about learning English from action heroes, it leaves us with a truly profound concept to consider.
What's that?
Asghari assimilated into American culture as an immigrant child by studying the strength, cadence, and confidence of action stars on a screen. They were his teachers. They provided a template for safety in a completely new world.
Wow.
Now, as an adult trying to navigate the chaotic, often dangerous world of post-tabloid fame, he is actively trying to become that very archetype to solidify his own place in reality.
It makes you look at the media we consume in a totally different light.
It raises a fascinating question for you to mull over long after we wrap up today.
I'm listening.
Think about the movies, the books, the characters you obsessed over when you were young and trying to figure out the world. How much of your own adult identity, your own personal definition of strength and success, is quietly built on the pop culture you consume to feel safe?
That is a brilliant thought to carry with you this week. From learning the language of action movies in a living room to speaking it fluently on the big screen.
It's an amazing journey.
It really is. You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.